Hey guys, welcome to the Honest Hedgehog, and we're here to review Fallout 4 today. So first off, I'm going to start off by complimenting a couple aspects of this game. Number one is the fact that the gameplay is so much fun. The guns actually feel like you're shooting a gun, not like you're shooting a bow and arrow. One of my previous gripes on Fallout 3 and Vegas was the fact that whenever I was shooting somebody, it felt like I was shooting them like in Skyrim with the arrow. It's just kind of clunky and not really and fun whatsoever, but this one is definitely much improved. As you can see, you could actually customize your weapons. I got a scope on this one, and it actually feels like, you know, I'm sniping. The sniping gameplay isn't that much fun because I mean, you don't really get into a situation where you can comfortably snipe somebody, but you know, combat is really fun. One of the highlights of the game, of course, is the combat. So of course I'm going to start off talking with the familiar aspects of the game, which is the power suit, or the power armor, which is a little bit different this time around. It's actually kind of a robotic thing to get into. I'll go more into detail later. Of course, you got your weight system, so whenever you carry too much, you slow down and you can't fast travel. You got your terminals also, which are kind of annoying, but actually the hacking is a little bit easier this time around. And yes, it's the return of the glorious locking system. Not much can be said here because it's all the same. But the point system is different because you have unlimited points to spend, if you can earn them, that is. But we already knew that, and we all come to expect that from a Fallout game. So what exactly is new? So what's different this time, you say? Of course, you get to build your own settlement. Yeah, settlement building is a thing in Fallout 4, and if you haven't been living under a rock, you should know about it. But if your next door neighbor lives in the pineapple and you happen to live under a rock, then hopefully I could share some details with you that would enlighten you with this little settlement thing. So one of the many things that you could do is build stores, defenses, recruit settlers, link supplies, grow food, build structures, etc., etc. And of course, you gotta keep your settlers happy and defend all your settlements, which is a little bit of a challenge once you get a whole bunch of settlements running and going. But of course, settlers are extremely useful because they do nothing besides take care of themselves. And sometimes they can't even take care of themselves, so what's the point? Well, the point is to have these awesome power armor stations around in your settlements, which you have a lot of crafting options around in your settlements depending on how big your settlement is. Some settlements will have all the crafting stations, which include the power armor crafting stations, will allow you to upgrade and repair your power armor. And like I was mentioning before, the power armor is a little bit different this time around because it's actually a little exoskeleton type power armor. Which means, yo dog, I put power armor on top of your regular armor because I heard you liked armor. And with so much armor customization that you would think that Exhibit was living in Fallout 4, this is actually one of the game's stronger points, is the fact that you're so open to customize anything. You can customize your weapons, you can customize your armor, you could even mix and match armor pieces. That also includes the pieces of armor that your followers wear, and also including settlers. So you can customize pretty much the look and feel of every settler and follower that you have. And additionally, you could also equip armor for your dog. So going a little bit more in depth into the weapons modification, you could change the barrels, you could change the way the gun handles, you could change the sights, even though sometimes you could change the sights into some sights that aren't really appropriate for the weapon. You have the freedom to do so. You could also change the amount of damage your weapon does, whether it's automatic or single fire. So yeah, it's a very in-depth, robust system of customization, which I do give it big thumbs up to. And it's definitely not something that you've seen before any other kind of Bethesda game ever. So I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about the building system in the game. As you can see, you can build your fortifications up, you can manage your settlers, you could change where they're actually working, because you could actually put different types of workstations. And they're not really workstations, they're just like little jobs. So if you plant some seeds or some kind of vegetable like a tomato or something, you could set your settlers to pick those vegetables. You could set them to guard certain guard posts, or you could set them to run supplies in between your different settlements. So there's a lot of things going on, and you could actually make XP for every little thing that you build in your settlements. But with all these awesome things, there must be a drawback in the game. And yeah, I thought we were getting along, Fallout 4. but they seem to be using the same engine or the same code that they used in Skyrim. And one of the things that I hated about Skyrim is the fact that the load times were awful. And of course, I'm just loading this on, I'm not loading it on my SSD, I'm actually loading it in my hard drive, so maybe if I had it in the SSD it'd load a little bit faster, but still, when compared to games that are sort of similar, such as Ark and The Witcher, it kind of doesn't fall short behind, just the fact that they're two different games, but I wish it kind of borrowed The Witcher's graphics and, you know, polished feel. Whenever I play The Witcher, there's really nothing bad I can say about The Witcher, and I wish I could say that about Fallout, because The Witcher was awesome, the storyline was awesome, and just the overall gameplay and continuation of the game was very smooth. And that's something I kind of wish I could have experienced with Fallout, and just the fact that the Fallout was kind of clunky and slow at times, it kind of bothered me and made me feel like the developers didn't really put much effort into developing the game. Now, when compared to Ark, I'm just only comparing it for the open world experience and just the fact that Ark has no load times whatsoever once you get the game running. Another reason that I'm using Ark as an example is the fact that Ark has a pretty huge map, and on top of that you also have caverns and underwater zones and underwater caverns that you get to access, that you have no load time to access these little caverns. And just the fact that you can access these things quickly without actually having to go through a load screen kind of bothers me, because a small team of developers could do this, yet when it comes to Bethesda, they really don't put, I guess, the effort to do that. And of course, all this ties down to my original complaint about how they could have done better in implementing certain things in the game. But I'm only being critical and honest, and just giving you my 2 cents about my experience with this game, because I went into this game already playing those other 2 games that I just mentioned, and I kind of compared and contrasted between the 2. And sorry, I mean 3. And even though I'm pretty harsh about my general experience with this, it's just the fact that I want to be honest and critical about the games I review. And fortunately, the game is a good game, but the unfortunate thing is I feel like Bethesda failed to deliver the hype that they were hyping up this game to be. Just seems like a Skyrim and Fallout 3 had a baby and they shit it out. And while both Skyrim and Fallout 3 were awesome games, I feel like this game hasn't really moved in the next generation category. But I'm not saying that this game sucks, because it doesn't suck. It's a fun game. I like to play it. I'm just telling Bethesda that maybe this game is a little bit of slap on the wrist, because lately developers have been kind of getting away with not giving it their 100%. And I definitely believe that this is one of the cases where the studio really wasn't giving it 100%. But hey, it's not a really bad game. It's actually a good game. I would definitely recommend this game, even if you don't like Fallout. It's definitely worth a check. One of the things I do recommend is that you do get an SSD if you want to install this game in your computer, because the load times are going to catch up to you, and you're possibly going to be doing 35% load time if you're loading it from a hard disk drive. So definitely look into that investment if you want to play with this game, because I cannot stand those long load times. So here's a word. The conclusion is that this game is definitely worth the checkout. It's definitely 7 out of 10 and definitely a good investment. So I would say definitely purchase this game, because this game has potential to steal you away from your girlfriend time, or steal you away from your boyfriend time, or steal you away from your cat time, or steal you away from your beloved animal time. So if you have obligations to anything living but yourself, you might not want to check this game out. You could easily invest hundreds of hours in this game and you won't even realize it. So that's all I gotta say about this game. Be sure to give us a like if you really like this video, and also subscribe to our channel. That way we get more followers, and we know that you guys are actually watching and you want to see more videos like this. So let us know how we're doing, and have a good day, you guys, and enjoy your Fallout game.